So, fights to make after 1171. I understand this has taken a long time to come out, but I've been just talking and discussing with people to try and figure out which matchups make the most sense. Now, the first one we're going to cover is Cade Rutuolo's round 1 submission victory over Nicholas Vinya. I think the best matchup is going to be Zhang Lepeng. And the reason is he has a very good Asian following, specifically within China. If this was on a Chinese card, it would rank high within the card and it would get a lot of viewings, right? It'll bring a lot of audience to this card. He has a good takedown defense. At the moment, Rutuolo, right, is really a one-hit wonder. Right, takes you down, gets the submission. Takes you down, gets the submission. All three of his fights have ended round 1 submission, which is impressive. But I think Zhang Lepeng can defend against them takedowns and make it hard for Rutuolo. And I think this would be his hardest test to date. Zhang Lepeng has had a lot of MMA fights. His record is 35 to 13 to 2, and he's only 34. Right, so he has fought 50 times. And he's only 34. That is a serious record, right? The other person I thought would be good against Cade Rutuolo would be Marisa Bevy. I think is also a good matchup. I went with Zhang Lepeng because I think I can see the turnaround being a little bit quicker, and them getting this sorted would be a little bit easier than Marisa Bevy, since Bevy is also a very big contender at the moment to fight probably one more time. If he wins, he'll probably be going for that belt. So the next fight is going to be Jake Peacock, the round 3 TKO over Shinji Suzuki. Who do I think Jake Peacock deserves? I'm going to say Asatem Pao. Now, I say deserves, and it's not me being disrespectful to Jake Peacock. I think everyone within one is a serious contender, right? The reason I've went with Asatem Pao is they have similar records. Asatem Pao is 13 to 4. Jake Peacock is 14 to 1. Right? You can make a USA versus Canada matchup out of this. You can do it with actually a lot of divisions, with a lot of Canadians. I don't know why I said it like that. With a lot of Canadians coming through the rankings at the moment, you could make a USA versus Canada card. Right? And it would sell very well within the USA if ever the One Championship went back there. I don't think it's bad every now and then trying to get a European card or a American card. Right? It doesn't just have to stay in Asia. I think going to these places would only bring viewership to One Championship. And it's not a massive step up. Like, I was also thinking about giving him the likes of Dmitry Kovtun, which I don't think he wins. I think Kovtun is way too good at the moment. I think you've got fighters like Kiamram Nabati, you've got Su Linu, right? There is fighters that Jake Peacock is going to struggle with within this division, like Felipe Lobo, Ferrari Fairtex, Sewer Black. This division is the most stacked division, personally, probably within all of One Championship, right? That division of bantamweight, kickboxing, and Muay Thai is the most stacked. So I think Asatem Pao is a good step up, but around the same level as what he's been fighting so far. We're next on to Kirill Grushenko. Round 1 TKO over Mauro Cirilli. And I think it's going to be the rematch between him and Umar Khan. Right? Now, if you don't know, Grushenko has already beat Rug in a matchup already where Rug had to throw the towel in because Grushenko was beating him that bad. Right? Now, there is a couple more reasons. Right? He's already next in line. There's no one to stand in his way at the moment. Right? Anatoly Malikin, right? He should go back down to his weight division, right? Go back down to the middleweight, the light heavyweight, get out of heavyweight. It's not going to happen. personally. I just don't see it happening. I think Kirill Grashenko has a proper chance against Umar Khan. So I just see this going so much better in the favour of a new champion. And it's going to be a grudge match, right? Think of it, you are the champion. Your only loss, though, in your professional career is to somebody who beat you so bad you had to throw the towel in. Right? This is the matchup to make, personally. Right? And I think it's going to be a great matchup. They're both similar sizes. They're both 6'4". Right? So they are both the biggest fighters within this division. Everyone else being around 6 foot, 6'2". Right? There's a couple. I think Ben Tynan is 6'3". Right? This is the matchup to make in that heavyweight MMA. Shamil Gasanov, unanimous decision over Martin Nguyen. Right? I think he goes against Thornley. Now, there's a couple reasons why this matchup to me makes the most sense over anything else. Now, I was thinking about putting him against Orgil Bartecu. The problem with that is Bartecu's already booked for a fight, right? So that is not happening. Right, I think he's booked in like a couple of weeks, right? I think 2 weeks Bartecu's fighting. The reason why I think Thornley is a good fight, Thornley is an ex-champion. He's a big step up in competition, and he's taller, right? He's bigger. He's 6'2" within one championship, but he's 14'4" overall, right? Finally has got good striking and good wrestling, and I do think he'll be able to stop some of the takedowns from Gasanov, and I think he'll be able to strike with him. I think it'll be a good matchup. I do see it going the way of Shamil Gasanov, but I think it'll be a very good fight. Now, Shamil Erdogan, round 1 TKO over Angela Nasang, right? This fight was a very good one. Knocked him out on the back foot. Beautiful. I think he gets the champ. Right. I think he should be fighting Anatoly Malikin. Erdogan is next in line. He's beat Angela Nasang 2 times. Right. He is undefeated within his professional career. 3-0 within 1, 11-0 professionally. Yeah. He is the bigger fighter against Anatoly. He's taller than him. Right. Shamil Erdogan is a massive fighter for middleweight, big fighter. And what a fight it would be on a European card. Now, the One Championship doesn't come to Europe often. But if you look at One Championship, you have got, at the moment, more European fighters in your divisions than any other continent other than Asia. Right? It's Asia and Europe. And if it was me, if I was running One Championship, I would be going to try and corner that market. Right? I would be trying to get Asia and Europe as a One Championship dominated region. Right? Europe is up for grabs. You look at the UFC, it barely comes to Europe. Barely comes to Europe. Right? If One Championship comes to Europe 3 or 4 times a year, you're already getting the market more than the UFC is. And if you put it on our local time, fuck me, you would be looked at as gods compared to the UFC, right? Because even when it comes to our countries, we have to watch it at 3 a.m, right? If you sit there and make a European card anywhere in Europe and you promote it, it's going to sell, right? And I think this will be a massive fight to go on it. Roberto Soldic in his round 1 TKO over Dari Arsenalayev. I think it's going to be a rematch, right? And I think this is going to be a title eliminator, personally, against Sebastian Cadestram. Right? Now, the reason why I think this fight makes the most sense, right? He just beat, personally, the person who was second in the division, right? Second or third in the division. And it's a good rematch, right? Now, the reason I've put this one, I don't think Soldic deserves a title shot yet, right? I don't think he gets that title shot, right? Kadastram has got the size advantage, and he did sign a contract with one the other year. And again, it could make for a great European card. You put this in the middle of Europe, right? And it would sell. Like a Central European fight card from one. This sells, right? Honestly, this would be a brilliant card to do, a brilliant fight, a brilliant rematch, right? Soldic obviously lost the first fight, and it's his time now to get his rematch, right, in his revenge against Kadastram. Jon Haggerty, and his unanimous decision over Wayray. I think he fights Kiamram Nabati. There is a reason for this. Now, I personally would love to see him against Nico Carrillo. There's history there. They used to spar. There's sparring footage of them together, right? It always looked like a decent matchup. Nico Carrillo has got the size advantage, obviously. But he's saying that he can't make the weight anymore. He's too big to be making that weight. And you know what? I agree. You are too big to be making that weight. If you're 5'11" fighting in bantamweight of 65 kilo, right? I do think you're a little bit too big for it, and you should be moving up to featherweight. But obviously, Jon Haggerty's just defended his belt quite successfully. Defended his kickboxing belt. He should be wanting to get the Muay Thai belt back. Right, currently their division's a little bit weird. He's ranked number 1 contender personally, right? Since Nabil is now ranked as what? The champ, but not the champ. The interim champ, that's the word. Nabil's the interim champ, so Jon Haggerty is number 1 at the moment. Below him would be Nico Carrillo, who can't fight in that division anymore because he's too big. The next person after that is Kiamram Nabati, who is on a massive win streak. He's on a 5 win streak at the moment, right? And all of them are against high-level fighters. And Jon Haggerty needs to stay active within Muay Thai, especially if he wants to get a rematch for the belt that he lost against Superlek last year. This would be a massive fight. And again, it could be on a European card. Right? There is so many fights you can make from Europe nowadays. I just don't understand why they're not getting made at the moment. This would be a brilliant fight. And obviously, Wayray, I want him against Elias. Now, I know what everyone's going to say to this. Obviously, Elias has pulled out, right, of his fight against Pechatong. And he shouldn't be rewarded by fighting someone higher up within the rankings in that bantamweight kickboxing. But they both need time off to recover. Wayray needs time off to have a bit of a rest. Elias needs to recover from his injury or illness, right? And it would be such an entertaining fight when they're both 100%. Now, Wayray never went to the 5th round before, right? Now, I think this fight would be brilliant as a 3-round contest, right? And I do think it would be an amazing title eliminator. Because if Elias wins, Elias against Haggerty, what a fight. If Wayray wins, do a rematch, Haggerty versus Wayray, because let's face it, Wayray was looking good. He was looking good in that fight, for a lot of that fight, right? Haggerty just has so much better cardio and such a better output that it just beat him down over time. But I think this fight would be the most entertaining fight that you could do. Joshua Pasiao and his TKO over Jared Brooks in round 2. Now, I think Mansour Malashayev is going to be the best fight for him. Now, at the start, I was looking to see if he could get a fight against Adriano Moraes. Obviously, he's going against Yuya Wakamatsu, right, on the 1172 card. So that's not going to happen. But he could defend the belt against, personally, the second in his division, right? Now, Mansoir is taller than him, and Pasiao is the only person to have beat Mansoir in the past, right? With Malashayev beating everyone behind him in the rankings so far that he has fought. Right, I think this would be such an entertaining fight and a very good rematch. I think this would be better than the Jared Brooks rematch. And talking about Jared Brooks, I think he should be fighting Sanzar Zakharov. Now, there's reasons for it as well. One, Zakharov is taller and younger than Jared Brooks. He's also 4-0 at the moment within one championship, 13-0 in his whole professional career. A win against Jared Brooks would put Zakharov right up there against a title contender. And let's face it, it would be such a good fight if we saw Joshua Pasiao versus Zakharov. I was going to make this fight before, but I do think Mansoir deserves that little bit of credit. So that's the fights I would make